Guys, it is time for the draft. We're gonna draft 10 rounds, 10 picks each, for picking WrestleMania events. Basically, we're gonna pick the events itself. There's obviously 41, so we're gonna have 30 selected. Obviously, we did a draft order about a week ago on my text. I get the first pick, DJ second, Rob is third. So I have a draft sound to kick off the shout out to the NFL draft sound here. So let's go. My first pick this Fall Start Anywhere WrestleMania draft 2026. I am torn here. Should I take my favorite WrestleMania? Should I take the thing that's considered the greatest WrestleMania of all time? Or should I take the one that's regarded as the WrestleMania that changed everything? I am torn. But I'm going to take what I consider is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Many people, and that's WrestleMania 17 from Houston, which we'll cover here later on the show. WrestleMania 17, of course, with headline the second Austin Rock, but it is also viewed as the greatest card in WrestleMania history as well. Too, you got Flair and Taker. You have a bunch of great matches in here. Angle and Chris Benoit. You have Chris Jericho against Real Regal. Even Iron Sheik in appearance, in a battle royal. Taker and Triple H, great match as well too. You have the first or second TLC match between EJ Christian, Dudley Boys, and
number 2, because this one was on my list and I just had to cut it out.
Sorry, buddy.
Damn you!
It was between this 3 and 5, honestly. But it's the greatest one of all. It's the greatest WrestleMania of all time by many people, and I honestly have a hard time seeing. Between the gimmicks, between everything else, it's an incredible show. And it was really pretty much I would say, the bookend of the Attitude Era. Like, people say that Attitude Era went to like 2002. I would say by this event, because remember, they just bought WCW weeks before this event. Actually, days before this event, to be honest with you. Vince just bought the company. So you can argue that Attitude Era kind of ended here. So this is the bookend of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So I'll go WrestleMania 17.
And
all right,
I would say also, on that card, one of the greatest WrestleMania sports entertainment matches between Vince and Shane.
Yes.
With Foley as well, special referee. Yes. That is correct. All right, DJ, your turn. Your first pick in this draft.
I think I'm gonna rip Rob's heart out here a little bit, because I'm gonna take a WrestleMania that has one of his all-time favorite tag team matches, WrestleMania 6, Hogan and Warrior. I led off with this one, but this one also had the Hearts versus the Bolsheviks in the greatest WrestleMania tag team match ever. They beat him in like 19 seconds. It's Rob's favorite tag team match.
I love how Rob says shit. Fucking Rob, dude.
But another match that was on this card that I really, really enjoyed was Demolition versus Andre and Haku. It wasn't very long, but it was just a good, big, meaty men match.
The Colossal Connection.
Colossal Connection versus Demolition.
Andre's Last Stand also too. I have a love-hate with this WrestleMania, to be honest with you, because obviously Hogan losing Warrior, not fun for me personally. I hate Warrior, so it is what it is, but I get it.
I was a big Warrior fan back in the day.
I know you were, brother. I know you were. All right, Rob, your turn. Your first pick in this draft. Should I pick it for you? Because I know where you're going.
Alrighty, so 17 is off the board. 6 is off the board.
I'm surprised 6 this early, to be honest with you. I'm really surprised.
Okay, I am going to. I'm gonna surprise everybody here.
Wait. You really not pick that? You really not gonna pick that one? I'm shocked.
I think
stunned.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it, because the one I was thinking of picking will be there. So, WrestleMania 3. Yes.
There we go. See, bro, if you weren't gonna take it now, I'm snatching that shit next round.
I intentionally left it off my list.
And here's the thing, also, Rob, you got a break. You have last pick in the first round, and that thing's still there, because I was going to take it. It was between 7 and 3 for me, to be honest with you.
All right, because and for those people who are wondering, All right, look, and look, okay, well, and well, we don't need to keep doing the disclaimer about Hulk Hogan, okay? But that card, that was one, that was Vince McMahon's big message to everybody that I was right, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, sure was.
That was, I mean, everyone, everyone in the business thought he was insane to try and, to make the WWF into a national wrestling company. And a bunch of people were pissed off at him because to go national, he had to step on everybody's territory. And people thought his own father didn't think it was going to work. And so this was his, this was his big statement that, yeah, I was right. And the crazy idea I came up with, it works. It worked.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I think maybe like the first out of all the iconic WrestleMania images, Hogan slamming Andre might have been the first. And it's one that still gets shown to this day.
I will say definitely in ring one. Yeah, I will say that one. Yeah, in ring images. Yeah.
And listen, look, I know, the work rate nerds take, they shit all over this match. But for my money, if you're talking about telling a story in a match and getting a crowd into what you're doing, this is one of the best main events they've had because again, they told the whole story through that match of him doing everything he could to get Andre off his feet, and he couldn't do it. And he couldn't do it. And he couldn't do it. And then in the closing seconds, he finally knocks him down. And then he tried to slam him in the opening seconds, Andre, and he couldn't hold him. And Andre fell on him, almost won the match. And then in the closing seconds, he gets him up for the big body slam. And 93,000 people were on their feet for a guy doing a body slam after 12 minutes. Okay.
Allegedly 93,000 people. Allegedly.
Whatever.
For record. We're going to buy into the.
There were 93,000 people in the building. Okay. They didn't all pay to be there, but they were there. Okay.
In spirit.
If you think the guy selling hot dogs wasn't on his feet for that moment, you're out of your mind, pal.
He didn't pay a fucking ticket.
I mean, whatever, man. But whether it was 93 or 73, it was the biggest crowd that anybody ever had in a long time. Okay. And one of the biggest crowds ever since. All right. And those people were all on their feet for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So all you people doing your, 450 splashes and this, that, and the other, just to try and get people to clap for you. Okay, they had however many thousand people was on their feet for, again, a 10-minute match that ended with a simple body slam and a leg drop. That is how you work. That is how you tell a story in a match. That is how you work a crowd. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's Savage Steamboat also.
Mm-hmm.
And then and this gets downplayed now because he came back, but at the time what everybody thought was Roddy Piper's retirement match.
Right, great match too for the record. Him and Adonis.
Yeah, and then and going into that, I remember he did what was supposed to be like the final Piper's Pit, like I think the Saturday before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of broke character, really, and and so I mean, it felt like that was really it. He he kind of broke character when he did that. And Girardi is one of those guys again. Like you had to be there to really truly experience when he was out, and how he went from being like the biggest heel in maybe the entire wrestling business, and then within a year's time, he was getting ovations as loud as Hogan. I mean,
right? Yeah.
And again, and so I mean, you had to kind of be there to really experience it. But that is that's 3 super huge. If you're making like a top list of WrestleMania moments or whatever, matches or whatever, you had 3 of them on the show.
All right. Next one, round 2 for me. For me, I'm gonna go with my favorite wrestler of all time, and that's WrestleMania 5, headlined by Savage and Hogan. And a lot of people say, that people think I have 5 because of that match. However, the thing for me is that I love this Mania because of Jesse Ventura. This event, listen to Jesse Ventura with Gorilla Monsoon, this entire 3 hours. This is peak Jesse Ventura in terms of commentary. And that's saying something because he's already great in everything he does. But this event, he goes balls to the wall. The luster, and it's busting on Hogan. Putting over Heenan, putting over winning the first title ever, putting over Rude, putting over these guys. It's solid too also in general. But this one, 5 for me is my favorite of all time, so I have to go with 5. So, all right, DJ, you next. Go ahead.
My second one here is going to be WrestleMania 31.
He's right.
The heist of the century. And there were several matches on this card that were excellent. One of them, the multi-man Intercontinental Championship ladder match, was absolutely incredible. You had Rollins and Orton in a preliminary match early on where Orton hit the greatest RKO ever. You had Taker and Bray Wyatt in just a complete spectacle. A match that I'll defend to the death, even though I can't defend the finish. Triple H versus Sting. And then obviously the heist of the century at the end. This was Roman Reigns coming out match. Like, I was on the fence with Roman up until this point. When he went toe-to-toe, man-to-man, nose-to-nose with Brock Lesnar, no matter how the match ended, Roman Reigns won a fan in me that night.
All right. I like that one. All right, Rob, your second pick in this
all right.
this draft.
My second pick, I am going with WrestleMania 38.
Really? Is that Brock and Roman?
Yes. For here,
Okay.
so I'm, me and Jason, of course, are the big Roman Reigns marks, and at night 2, he's holding up both belts, and for us in the Roman Empire, that was our big fuck you to everybody. Okay. For all the people that doubted that man, for all the people that been hating on that dude, and then the end of that show where he's holding up 2 belts, but that's not all. I mean, because on the first night, my other favorite wrestler was victorious, and honestly, I thought for sure. I mean, I thought for sure Ronda. I think most people thought Ronda was going to beat her, and then she pulled it out, and then, but then when you look at the rest of the card, I mean, there was Cody Rhodes returning, and then Becky and Bianca had that great match, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back, and and then also, I mean, what you cannot forget. When we talk about sports entertainment matches, another one of the Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. I mean, that was one of the most entertaining wrestling matches ever. I mean, it was just.
I'll die on the hill defending that match with you.
Oh,
Rob.
yes.
My wife hates the fucking match, so she hates that fucking match. She hates it with a passion only because of the who's, not so much the match itself, who was in it. She hates Johnny Knoxville. So, alrighty, let's get to the next one here. Speed up a little bit here. Round 3, I'm gonna go with the WrestleMania has to probably argue the best card, and also melds 4 generations of eras in one WrestleMania, and that's WrestleMania 19 for me. Of course, it is the last Rock Austin one. That's on your list too, buddy. That's also of course the last Rock Austin match. You got Brock and Angle, of course, the future, at least we thought it was at the time. It's a very, very solid card. Hogan against Vince on there, great match. You have a lot of really good shit going on that event. I'm not a big fan of the venue was that because the ramp was like way away from the ring, and it was like kind of in a turn and all stuff. But to me, it's my personal favorite Austin Rock match of the 3. my personal favorite because the Rock was in the Hollywood gimmick at that point now also. Austin his last legs, it's still a burly old man at that point though, but it was a great match. Great WrestleMania in general. Great card. Probably historically speaking, like one of the best cards ever in WrestleMania history. So 19 for me. All right, DJ, your go. What's your third pick?
All right. Well, since Rob literally robbed me of WrestleMania 38, I've had to go to one of my alternates. I'm entering what I consider to be the greatest trilogy of Shawn Michaels matches ever in WrestleMania 24. It's when he retired Ric Flair. They also had a triple threat match with Orton, Cena, and Triple H, which was excellent. And then Floyd Mayweather versus The Big Show, which again was sports entertainment extravaganza, a lot of fun. But for the Shawn and Flair match, that ranks pretty high for me.
All right, 24. I like that one. All right, Rob, you go. Your third pick.
Okay. I'm going to pick the other show where my two favorite wrestlers were both victorious, and that was WrestleMania 32.
Really? Okay. 32.
And a lot of people shit on this card, but again, my two favorite wrestlers won both of their matches. And also, the opening match, I forget how many men were in the match, but the ladder match at the opening ladder match was outstanding. There was Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Zack Ryder, Miz, Stardust, and I think Sin Cara was in it also. So that, and then the women's triple threat match were two just excellent matches. And then Roman and Hunter, it was it was what I call a Triple H special. It was about 10 minutes too long.
Right.
And Triple H had those matches where if they were 10 minutes shorter, they would be 4-star, 5-star, whatever. But he went 10 minutes too long, and it was still a good match. It's just that it went too long. And at that point, a lot of people still weren't feeling Roman like that. So,
right. All right. Fourth round. Oh, good.
So then there was the Hell in a Cell match between Shane and the Undertaker, and Shane took this hellacious bump off the top of his cage.
Right. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, that's the big one. That's right. Yeah. Shit, that's crazy. That's right. I remember that one. All right. Fourth round for me. My fourth pick. This WrestleMania gets a lot of flack because it's too long and there's obviously a lot of filler there, and it's not booked correctly on the fringes. But it also is the crowning moment of my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm gonna do it anyway. Take WrestleMania 4, the tournament. There's a lot of good matches in there. Obviously, you could do away with the Battle Royal. You could do away with some of the Warrior Hercules can go. Some of the things there, and Vince made a mistake there. But the tournament was a great idea, and it culminated a great story. From Hogan holding the title for 4 years into vacating the title, and then the whole situation with DiBiase trying to buy it and all that stuff, and just the way it was put together. It was also part of the, to me, my favorite and probably the greatest storyline of all time. The Mega Power storyline was in all of that in one, and the tournament did a great job. Just the way they put the matches and everything else. I actually love that WrestleMania. I'm sorry, I know it's very unpopular to say. I don't care. I'll take WrestleMania 4 for me. So, all right, DJ, your fourth pick.
My fourth pick, WrestleMania 10 had the single best opening match on WrestleMania history was Owen Hart versus Bret Hart. And very, very rarely does my favorite wrestler of any era have a great night. Bret lost in the opener, but he beat Yokozuna in the finals. Remember, this was the match where Yoko wrestled twice. He wrestled Lex Luger, Lex beat him by countout. Yoko retained the title. Later on, he fought Bret because Luger and Bret had both won the Royal Rumble. A couple other matches on there, TLC, or not TLC, but the very first ladder match with Razor and Shawn.
Of course.
So that one was on there for me.
And you have Savage and Crush. Okay.
Yes. You know what? They're to the line. I'll defend that match.
It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not the worst
It's
thing
not
in the
terrible.
world.
To a line,
Definitely
I'll defend it.
Definitely on the bottom of Savage matches though in WrestleMania history, but
Yeah,
that's also a high. That's also a high bar. So you're looking at there. So, all right, Rob, go. Your fourth pick. What you got?
All right, fourth pick. I am going to take. Okay. Wait, fourth pick. I am going to take WrestleMania 40.
Okay, you were there.
Yes, and that's a big reason why. And I was there, and also, I mean, it was the whole culmination of the whole, bloodline story. Like basically 4 years or almost 4 years of, arguably the, greatest long-term story they've had. They can argue between that and the Mega Powers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And also that night, the Priest catching the Money in the Bank briefcase at the beginning of night 2. That's the night I was there for.
Mm-hmm.
And Bailey and Io had a great match that night. AJ Styles and LA Knight had a great match that night. There was a triple threat with Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. That was really good. And then, now I wasn't in there for night 1, but night 1, of course, we had, The Rock and Roman Reigns teaming against Cody and Seth Rollins. You had Sami Zayn and Gunther. So there was, just great show all around, and I got to be there. So
bias there like that.
That's a good pick.
All right. It is a very good pick. I'm surprised to go early, to be honest with you, but I'm really shocked, but it is what it is. All right. My fifth pick is actually WrestleMania that in the last year I really couldn't appreciate years later. It's actually a very underrated card in general. I'm going to take, and it's an era I didn't watch in real time. WrestleMania 21. The start of the Cena era. The combination of John Cena, the combination of Batista. You have a phenomenal match between Randy Orton and Undertaker. This is one of the, I will put this on the top 10 WrestleMania of all time, honestly. Rey Mysterio, you say, well, I agree with you, but if Owen and Brett is the best opener of all time, I would say Rey Mysterio and Guerrero is second best opener of all time. WrestleMania. Okay. You had the phenomenal, the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match also too, with everyone being Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, Benoit, Christian, and Kane. Obviously Cena against Tyler against JBL, Batista Triple H, with Motorhead, of course, opening, performing with Triple H's opener was a phenomenal entrance. Probably top 2 or 3 entrances all time for me in WrestleMania history. Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels, phenomenal match. You have a lot of bangers here. So 21 for me is the top 10 WrestleMania of all time. I'm gonna rank these one of these days, seriously, but probably next year, rank these WrestleManias in its truest form. But this one's up there for me, top 10. So, all right, Mr. Your go.
I don't know. You guys keep taking my matches here. I got to go back. Hang on here. Let me flip back through my notes. So I couldn't use WrestleMania, the tournament, for all the reasons you said. I'll defend that tournament to the death.
There you go.
So another one of my alternates was WrestleMania 7, and this was the retirement match of Randy Savage with the Ultimate Warrior.
Damn it! I was going to put the actually.
I finally stole one from you. Yeah, that match is just everything. And when we talk about storytelling, and nobody brought the best, save for maybe Rick Rude, nobody brought out the Warrior's best like Randy Savage did.
Nope.
There was just a mutual respect there. The Warrior put on the working boots, the whole thing, everything. Then the end with Sherry beating the shit out of Macho Man because he was tired. Liz comes in, makes the save. Everything about that was just perfection.
Phenomenal.
And again, that was the culmination. When you talk about long-term storytelling, that moment goes all the way back to when the Mega Powers first got together. Because you think about why Savage and Elizabeth split was because of that. So they told, again, we talk about the bloodline story. This Macho Man Elizabeth story went on for years, literally from WrestleMania 4 all the way to now.
And you can argue really from the beginning, from the time they got to the company, honestly, because from 85 on, look at that Sister Odyssey.
That was always going to be the plan. Yeah, absolutely.
Phenomenal. And to this day, when I watch the ending of that match, I don't get teary-eyed. I'm sorry. I don't care.
Yes.
So, all right, Mr. Genius, your fifth pick. What you got?
All right, so he took WrestleMania 7. I am going to take WrestleMania 28.
28?
Yes.
All right. That is that Cena Rock?
First
Number
time.
one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Why that?
This is the show that brought me back into being a fan.
Okay, makes sense.
Because I was starting to dabble in it a little bit, but when they announced this match, this is one where I decided, okay, I'm gonna really give this a go here again. And they had a great match in the main event. And this was my first time really watching Cena. This is my first time watching him live.
Right.
And yeah, I became a fan almost instantly of his work. And then there was also you had the Hell in a Cell match between Taker and Triple H. You had Chris Jericho and CM Punk. And then at the time, what a lot of people hated, but it actually turned into a great thing for him was the opening match for Sheamus and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Where Sheamus beat him in like 30 seconds, but that ended up being one of the catalysts for Bryan's career of all things. So.
All right, my pick now, and I'm so shocked that this is sitting here still this deep into the draft. Unbelievable. And I have a feeling DJ might have this on the list. He's going to get mad when I take it. But my next pick, sixth pick, is actually going to be, and by the way, I forgot to do my draft sound real quick for me. My pick is WrestleMania 18. How the hell is this sitting here, guys? Rockin' Hogan. What are we doing?
That one flew below my radar, man, and that's embarrassing.
This would be arguing the top 2 rounds. I think it's just past 2 rounds, honestly. But the fact that this is sitting here is actually kind of shocking. I mean, it's a great match card as it is. You got, obviously they're went into it, but Scott Hall and Austin wasn't a total match, actually, to be honest. They weren't really into it. But you got Kurt Angle and Kane. You got DDP against Christian. Rob Van Dam against William Regal. Edge and Booker T. Ric Flair and Taker. Great match, by the way. You have, of course, Triple H and Chris Jericho. It's a really good Mania. And again, this is the last Mania I watched before I started my 17-year hiatus of watching the current product. So this actually for me, a turning point. So 18 for me. I'm shocked this thing's still in there. Really shocked. All right, Jay, your 6th pick. What you got?
Okay, my 6th pick is one of my alternates, and again, it is the second of what I consider to be the trilogy of the greatest Shawn Michaels ever, WrestleMania 25. Him and Taker, I call it number 1 of their 2 big WrestleMania matches. But also on this card, you had an interesting sports entertainment match with Chris Jericho versus Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Roddy Piper, and Ricky Steamboat, where Ricky Steamboat turned back the clock. I unashamedly love that match. And then we had, I can't read my own handwriting here.
Chicken Scratch?
Yes, Chicken Scratch. Yeah, Taker and Shawn, and you had Matt and Jeff Hardy in an Extreme Rules match.
Wow.
Which was a culmination of that feud, and it was an excellent match as well.
Right. All right, Rob, your 6th pick in the draft.
Okay, so I'm making it up as I go along here.
Are you really?
Yeah, because all the ones I had written out have been taken. So
damn.
All right, so I'm gonna go WrestleMania 30.
Ooh, that was coming up for me too. Also, I had it on the list. That was actually coming up.
Yeah, one of the better opening matches with Daniel Bryan and Triple H. Of course, the main event was one of another all-time great WrestleMania moments. And then there was also Cena and Bray Wyatt, and the streak being broken. And we talk about matches that people will defend. I will defend that match.
So would I.
And I will defend the outcome. Because again, we've talked about this several times. Because what that match did for Brock Lesnar and the run he went on started there. It started with that. Because up to that point, he was pretty much 50-50 wins and losses guy. And I remember going into that, I was just thinking like, okay, well, Brock really does need to win this match. Because again, he was like 50-50 at that point. It's like he really does need to win this. But it's the streak. And they're not going to end the streak, are they?
Right.
And so I had no idea who was going to win that match. And then, but you expect the Undertaker to win because of the streak.
Right.
And so then, when Brock hit, I think it was like the third F5 and the referee started counting, okay, he's going to kick out. And then 3, and it's like, what?
Collective gasp in the room.
And by
yep. Because like everybody was thinking, okay, he's going to kick out. And he doesn't. And the referee's hand hits 3. And everybody's like, what in the hell just happened here?
And Rob, by the way, this is during my hiatus, right? But I do watch this WrestleMania because of the streak, because of the match. And I got this is the first year of the network also too. So because I had the network already, I'm gonna watch it. Fuck it, it's free. Because I'm paying for the network anyway, so whatever. And by the way, for the record, I was rooting for Brock to win the match. It was the right call for Brock to win the match. And again, I will die on that hill to this day. People fight me about this to this day, and I'm like, you're wrong. You're wrong. It was the right move to make. Brock should have been the guy to put to end the streak. So I'm with you on that one, 100%, 100%. So, all right, for me, this is my 7th pick, I think, right? 7th pick. I have a choice here. Should I take this one or should I take the? You know what? I'll take this one for now. I'm gonna take a WrestleMania that's pretty underrated, actually. When you look at it in hindsight, I'm gonna take WrestleMania 8. Actually, that is actually a double main event. Don't forget it's a double main event. Although the main event actually sucked, in my opinion. Hogan and Sid. We said earlier on the show, but the other main event was Savage and Flair, and that was a phenomenal match. A phenomenal story. You get Brett and Rob Piper for the IC title. It's a phenomenal match too. Also, the opener between Shawn and Tito Santana was amazing. El Matador, of course. Taker and Jake Roberts in that show too. Also as well. Tatanka and Whit Martindale was pretty cool as well too. So it was a good event. Are there some duds there? Yeah, some duds. But overall, the high points were the high points, and then low points were low points. But I think when you really balance it out, of course, it was a very good WrestleMania. It definitely felt like that Mania was like the change in the guard. We were definitely getting out of the Hulkamania era. We weren't there yet, but it felt like we're definitely going a new direction with Shawn and Brett and these guys. So, but this WrestleMania was a really solid WrestleMania. Live from India. So, all right, DJ, go with your 7th pick.
I am back on one of my alternates because somebody took WrestleMania 17 from me. Thank you very much, guys. That
was gone a long time ago.
The third match in the Shawn Michaels trilogy of best matches, WrestleMania 26. Not only because him and Taker 2 was Shawn's retirement match, quote unquote, but this was also the first WrestleMania with Bret Hart back within WWE's good graces, and he had Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. And while the match was not a Bret Hart technical marvel, it was what it was. As a Bret Hart fan, it was, at least for the time, closure for me. With the way everything happened, it was closure for me to have Bret Hart back home and in a WrestleMania match. So that one holds a special place for me.
Oh, okay. All right. 26 it is. All right, Rob the Genius, what you got for me?
I have WrestleMania 37.
That's interesting. That's Stack'em.
So that one was, the first, first WrestleMania having fans back in the building. Night one, of course, he had Sasha and Bianca in the main event, and then there was also another great sports entertainment match, the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and John Morrison. There was a cage match between Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. It was very good. The opener was good, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. And then night two ended with, again, the infamous double stack pin with Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel
and Ryan, right?
And I watched that match maybe like a week or so ago, and it's an excellent match in its own right, and it does not get talked about enough.
It was the first WrestleMania of the Bloodline storyline, and it was a start of things to come. So I actually love that Mania 2 also, especially. All right, my 8th pick might be very controversial. Because I'm saying right now, spoiler alert, it's not a good match. It actually sucks as WrestleMania. It's a one-match WrestleMania. But the one match is arguably my top 3 to 5 favorite matches of all time. WrestleMania 13. Brett and Austin. I can't lose Brett and Austin. I'll take the entire show just for that. I mean, Sid and Taker wasn't terrible, but this is the one match WrestleMania, but it's the one match that is like, to me, a top 3 match all time. Not just WrestleMania match, a match. Austin and Brett. It was a start, the double turn, all that. It was really the real launching pad for Austin. Like, Austin was on the way, but then this match really launched him to the sun. So, I'll controversially take 13 because I don't want to lose that match. So 13 is for me.
Not so controversial. I fucked up in my picks. That was actually my number 1, and I missed it.
What do you mean?
I was supposed to lead off with that one. I'm looking at my list of matches.
Get the fuck out. Are you serious? No, I believe you. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I absolutely, because my chicken scratch ass, I thought it was just scribble. And I went on to WrestleMania 6, which is right under WrestleMania. I'm an idiot.
Oh my God.
Dude, that was my first round pick.
It makes sense now why 6 was taken so early and it didn't make any sense. Like 6, really? Like 6 is good, but
no, because DJ's an idiot and he doesn't understand shit. And so you also took, so I'm out of alternates, so I actually only have 9 now because I'm sitting here on the fly finding alternates because you guys stole all my shit.
Real quick. So, given that was that high for you, do you enjoy this WrestleMania outside that match?
There were other matches that were okay, but no, that match was, you're right. That was a one-match WrestleMania. Okay. But that match was so pivotal. Like, that's a pivotal moment in the industry.
Yep.
Like, in the industry. It's literally was an industry-changing match, and that's why it's so important to me, and that's why it ranks so high. I've probably watched that match more than any other match in wrestling history.
I don't blame you. It's that damn good. So,
it may be my all-time favorite wrestling match ever.
Right. Well, there you go. All right. So what's your 3, 4, 5, 8 pick then, Mr. Minter?
Number 8 is WrestleMania 34. Charlotte defeated Asuka, ended her streak, and we had the return of Kurt Angle to WWE and WrestleMania. This was Kurt Angle and the introduction of Ronda Rousey, who would, again, springboard and bring a lot of eyes to WWE and be very instrumental in the women's revolution, versus Stephanie and Triple H. It's just one of those spectacles that I enjoyed.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay. Rob the Genius, your 8th pick in the draft.
Oh, boy. Man, this is getting tough now.
It's Pickens now, buddy.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to take WrestleMania 36, the indoor Mania.
Really? I am not that I'm shocked, because I will defend the fact that work rate match wise, amazing. Work rate, amazing.
Okay. So we had the
you know.
we had the Boneyard match, which was Undertaker's last match, which was excellent. There was a three-way ladder match between there was Jimmy Uso, Kofi Kingston, and I think John Morrison. That was really good. And then there was like a no DQ match with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. There was, Drew beat Brock Lesnar to close out night 2. And night 1, again, people are mad because of who won, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It was an excellent match. It's one of the better opening matches in WrestleMania. And that was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. Y'all be mad all y'all want. It was an excellent match. It was a great opener.
Bro, I will defend that COVID mania. There were WWE. One day we're going to have a discussion about the COVID era, because for a horrible situation, they really made chicken salad out of chicken shit in a lot of instances. Like, they really pivoted as well as anybody could have. And there was some really underrated stuff that came out of that era.
Mm-hmm. All right. For me, my 9th pick here. We covered this in the show last week, Rob. I'm going to pick it now. WrestleMania 12. Of course, Iron Man match between Shawn and Brett. While people believe it's overrated, and I tend to see the argument there. Again, I always say that this WrestleMania was the turning point of the company. Like 1996 is actually a very underrated year for the company. Like 94, 95, well, especially 95 was actually the dark days. 96 and this Mania kind of was the first light in the tunnel. Oh, okay, we see light now. We started to see things percolate a little bit, but not quite in 97 and that's the era and all stuff. We're seeing quality again come to the company. Obviously Austin and Savio Vega's in there as well too. Now Warrior beat Triple H by a squash match, of course, but then Taker and Diesel was not phenomenal, but it was a solid match. The whole Hollywood backlog brawl between Piper and Goldust was fun as hell. So this Mania, I wouldn't put it in the top third of WrestleManias, but it's definitely in the middle third. It's not the bottom third. It's definitely the middle third. And this
it's pivotal. It's pivotal because Vince is starting to experiment with something outside of his own wheelhouse. Yeah, you can see traces of that in this WrestleMania.
Yeah, little by little, you're starting to see the line and he put the bell on Shawn. That was a risk in itself, because Shawn no one denied Shawn is a talent, but Shawn backstage was a risk. I mean, there were stories especially in 1996. So we'll see. All right, DJ, your 9th pick.
I am on my 9th, and I'm going to be honest with you, my last, because you guys have exhausted all my alternates. I have been sitting here looking as we're talking to try and find alternates to my alternates, because you guys keep taking all my shit. My last one is an alternate, and it is WrestleMania 29. There were a couple of matches on this show that were really good. It was Rock and Cena 2, which was an excellent match. But there was also a really good match with Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. And it was one of those things where if Triple H lost, he would have been forced to retire from in-ring competition. Another notable match was The Undertaker versus CM Punk. And this was a controversial hot button match with CM Punk. He wasn't going to get the main event. He was pissed off about it. He went out there and bell to bell had the best match of the night with The Undertaker. Excellent trilogy of matches there. So yeah, that one's another one that I had to go back and look at.
All right. Okay. We got one more round to go. Rob, your 9th pick of this draft.
All right, I'm going to take WrestleMania 22.
That is, I believe, 2006. That'll be Cena against Shawn, right? No. Cena against Triple H, right.
He was the Shawn the next year. But there was also Shawn versus Vince, another sports entertainment match. Undertaker and Mark Henry in a casket match, very underrated match. Mickey James and Trish, again, which was one of the, we're talking about history of women's matches. That was kind of on an island by itself for many years, but it's one of them. And Edge and Mick Foley in the hardcore match, that was another one that was insane, and it was. And then they had him another Money in the Bank ladder match, and this was the one where Rick, as old as dirt as he was out there taking crazy bumps in the damn ladder match.
Yeah.
And yeah, one time he did a stretcher job early on, and it looked real. Like, I mean, I didn't watch the show until years later, but and so I didn't, and I really didn't know much about it going in. But I mean, yeah, the way he took the bump off the ladder and they threw up the X, he looked like it looked real. And of course, he comes back in, but still, and I mean, in the moment, that was some great work by Rich. I mean, and then for him to be out there, he was already like 50 something years old in the damn ladder match, and everything. I mean, and it was a great match.
He's a crazy person.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. And so overall, very good card down.
All right, last round here for us. My last pick of this draft. This might shock a lot of people, including you guys. But I am in the middle of a project right now. I'm doing with a friend of mine, and we're actually reviewing all the first 14 WrestleManias. If you had asked me before last week, would I represent WrestleMania to be in my draft, I would say, fuck no, it's my bottom of my list. But watching this WrestleMania context and watching for the first time in decades, I have to tell you, when you think in the fact where you had to be there portion of this, it actually isn't that bad, actually. I mean, if you look at match to match, it actually holds up for what it was. Where it all started, WrestleMania 1.
No.
It's actually not that bad. I watched it full for the first time in decades, and maybe there's some recency bias here for me. Maybe there is. But there's some good matches. There's some really good matches on that card that hold up. And then the fact that you have Cyndi Lauper and Muhammad Ali and Liberace, it is the pomp and circumstances of it all. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just having a little more religious history. Maybe I'm just having a little like nostalgia. But look, there are way better work rate matches and shows on of the 41 WrestleManias that have happened. But when you combine everything and the spectacle and the crowd was into it, it's hard to ignore this one, the first one. So I'm going to take WrestleMania 1, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I know I shocked DJ. I know he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Not for the reasons you think.
Tell me.
99 yards and inches. I'm about to pull my last draft. This motherfucker jumps in front of me and takes WrestleMania 1 from me.
Oh, shit!
99 and inches. Inches. He takes it from me. He intercepts the ball, takes it from me, and runs it 99 yards back the other way. God damn it.
Guess what? I'll tell you what. JR, okay, I'll take the sword. JR has something to say to me.
I'm a bitch.
Wow.
I have nothing because I literally was just picking through and I'm like, which one do I want? And it really is the one that brought us all to the dance. Rob and I have talked about this not only on our show, but your show. How do you not watch a wrestling show that has Mr. T on it? Like, for the kids that grew up watching the A-Team, when they advertise Mr. T is going to be on a wrestling show, and you watch wrestling and you're like, wait a minute, I like wrestling, and I love Mr. T. So, yeah, I'm going to tune into the wrestling show that has Mr. T.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's I don't know that I have an alternate.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't think you had to take it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as soon as you said number 1, I threw my pen. I'm like, God damn it.
Launch it to the sun. Launch it to the sun, Ron, DJ. All right, DJ, your last pick of the draft.
Oh, God. Now I'm going to have to dig.
You're sitting here on my list that hasn't been touched yet.
I don't even know. Because now I'm just trying to.
There's a few recent ones that haven't selected that either. A few recent ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any of the recent ones because it's all like a jumbled mess in my head.
Well,
The last like 3 or 4 is like a jumble mess, honestly, to me.
well,
Yeah.
They're good. It's just jumbled.
I don't think you're going to think of the one that I'm going to pick last, so I can recommend one to you.
Go ahead.
23.
I had 22 in my head, but yeah, let's go. What happened on 23? Refresh my memory.
That's Shawn and Cena.
And then that Batista and the Undertaker, which was outstanding.
Yeah, Batista. Okay, yeah, they'll throw that one out there by default. 23. That's me.
Okay. Rob with the layup, with the alley rather. All right. So since you gave away one, Rob, what is your final pick of this draft?
Okay. This has sentimental value because this was the first WrestleMania I ever watched. Yeah, it's WrestleMania 2.
Wow. I just watched that. I watched it on Sunday, actually.
I mean, I would not call it a great show by any stretch of the imagination. There were some good matches. I thought, for me, and look, I was 12 years old, and I was a true believer that I hated King Kong Bundy for what he did to Hulk Hogan. Okay, when I was 12 years old. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold me on that whole thing with the taped ribs and everything, and and
the build was better than the match was.
The match was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't.
The match actually was not that terrible.
No, the match was not bad at all.
No, but
but
that was a hell of a build they had for it, and then also on that same card, the battle royals usually aren't very good. They're usually, they're not. They're fine. The best ones are fine. But this one, they actually, they had a whole story going in with the NFL players in it, and like all of them like get into it with Big John Studd, and then there was a spot with Studd and Refrigerator Perry, and because they had been kind of jawing at each other, and the finish was excellent too because Andre was left there with the Hart Foundation with both members, and they were working them over, and then then he finally got the drop on him, and he threw both of them out. And honestly, you can watch that match with Andre, and he was having trouble moving around. So you just see how he was moving around the end of that match, so you knew why they had to go to him and Hogan the next year because they had to get it in.
Yeah, the window was closing.
Yeah, that was, and then, but also, there was a tag team title match of the British Bulldogs against Greg Valentine, Bruce Beefcake. That was a good match, and there was one with the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana against Terry and Dory Funk. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So there was nothing. Look, there was nothing great on the card, and the worked boxing match is one of the worst matches ever. I mean, a worked boxing match just seems like a bad idea, and it was. But
it was a bad idea. But I will say as much. There was so much heat on Piper, and he was so loved. That match, while it was a mess. I don't subscribe to the way Meltzer does things. Meltzer always describes matches, rates matches based on just the match itself. I rate matches based on everything, based on crowd support, based on investment, based on feuds, based on payoffs, based on commentary. This match was I was invested in this match, even though it was a mess. I gave it a better grade. I gave it like a 3 out of 4 stars because of that.
And then of course
there are dozens of show. I can say this now because I just watched it literally 2 days ago for the project we're doing here. It's fresh in mind. Like the opening match between Orloff and Morocco, shit. The Adonis Uncle Elmer's match, shit. However, Elmer, what made the match? I get it 1 star for one reason. At least fucking Adonis sold the fuck out of the match for him. He sold every move. So that saved that match to some degree. There were some really good matches in there too. Also, the Bulldogs win the titles. That was a match. There's another tag match also was really good. The Funks against JYD and Tito Santana was actually a really solid match too. Also, so it's not as bad as it professed to be. But there's some done also too, though. But I think the problem with this show me one thing else, Rob. I think you might agree with this also too. The idea of the different locations will get worse because you got the first location. I think it was in Nassau. Was very dumb, badly lit. Then you have like the inventory team also sucked. It only got better. It got better as you went to Gorilla and Mean Gene, and they went to Jesse and somebody else. So if this Mania was a one Locust Mania, I think it's better received, honestly.
But then also, I mean, with the worked boxing match now, it's funny now looking back because Piper got disqualified, and I thought, and that was at the time I thought that was like a really weird ending, but I would find out years later watching some of these documentaries why that match ended like it did because in the words of a lot of Rowdy's coworkers, Rowdy don't do no jobs.
Right.
And so now, I mean, at the time I was like, this is really strange having this match in a disqualification. But now I understand why, because Rowdy wasn't doing no job.
Not even to the boxers. Nope.
No, he was not. Even in a worked boxing match, he was not doing no jobs.
That's hilarious.
So true. So true. It does age a little better. Number 2, honestly. It's still my bottom, possibly, because of somewhat, But I will say my honorable mentions I didn't pick on the list. I would have had 14 on the list, even though it's not a really great Mania. You did have HBK and still Austin. Obviously Mike was hurt in this match, but he did for what the situation called for. He was okay. 33 is there for me. I have 35, which although I hate the ending, it's too fucking long to show itself. But there are a lot of great moments on 35 with Kofi Mania, of course, being one and whatnot. 39 was solid also too. 41 was okay too. Last year's Mania was okay. 41 was okay. So there's some good ones out of the table here I could pick, but honestly, I am surprised 1 and 2 off the board. Honestly, I'm surprised.
Well, nobody picked 39. That's a surprise.
I'm shocked by that too. Also, I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked by that. 39. That was a good show too. Also, so
it was a good Mania.
Yeah. All right. One more thing. Let's